God, I'm so sick of my fucking. I don't even. So, I just went to the store. Excuse me while I back up. I just went to the store. I don't know how. That seemed impossible. I'm like driving on the road, and I'm just like, it was like, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And of course, there's somebody up my ass the entire time. Anyway, um, I had a couple funny stories, and I forget if I've told them before, and if I have, then yeah, just nope out of the video. Just be like, all right, I've already heard these. But um, one thing that's fucking hilarious to me, okay, and I'm not calling anybody a poser, because I'm happy to have friends, and it's nice to have people that you get along with, and they like the same music as you, and this is gonna be about like going to concerts. So I went to a Suicide Commando concert in Rhode Island, um, and it was awesome because after the show, um, Johan Van Roy was hanging out outside in like the smoking area, and they had like these big red couches. So we were hanging out there, like me and my friend Amy, and a couple other people from the scene who either from the local scene or from like our scene in Boston, and it was pretty cool. Like we were all just hanging out, smoking cigarettes and stuff, and whatever. We were just sitting there talking, and like he was there, and yeah, it was fucking cool. He doesn't speak much English, but you know, he was able to like get along with us. Like he understood English. He just doesn't speak English much. In his songs he does, but he doesn't speak it like fluently. Uh, not to like joke around and have a conversation, but we had fun. Is the baseline of that. Um, yeah, and it was pretty cool. And so there was this one kid there. I think his name was Steve. I forget because this was like years ago. Um, he was hanging out with us. He got along with us. He was pretty cool. Sorry, the lighting is like pretty bad. I don't know that anybody cares to see my face at all, but um, yeah, that's better. Anyway, um, he was hanging out with us, and he was kind of new to the scene. He didn't really know industrial music very well. He liked a lot of heavy metal. He was wearing a Typo Negative shirt, which was cool. And so he was hanging out with us. He fell into our little kind of social circle, and we were just chilling. It was great. It was fucking awesome. It was like after the show, it was just everybody's just hanging out. That's cool. And that's funny to me is um, and this is where the story is going. So if you know Suicide Commando, you know that Johan Van Roy tends to typically wear like a nice button shirt and a tie, and he has a certain way that he dresses. So this kid, let's just call him Steve because I'm pretty sure his name is Steve. I forget. I haven't seen him in a while, but the next time I went to that same club in Providence, Rhode Island, um, we were seeing Hocico, which is a whole different dress code. You're talking about wearing like shoulder armor, like football, shoulder armor, whatever you call it, shoulder pads or whatever, and spray painting them black, and they have more of like a Mad Max kind of look. I don't know why this is so funny to me. So he comes in and he's wearing like a nice button-down red shirt with a tie and like nice black pants. His shirt's tucked into his pants, and he's like, I think I overdressed. I'm like, dude, I get it. You didn't. You think it's one way, it's another way. It doesn't matter, dude. Nobody's gonna disrespect you for that. He's not used to listening to industrial music, so he'll go to any show. That's what he told me. He'll go to any show that's because he lives like right down the street. So he sees Suicide Commando and he thinks, "Oh, all right, this is the way people dress." But if he had noticed, none of us were dressed that. I was dressed like trash. So was Amy. None of us were like, you know, you have to dress like the artist. Just dress how you dress. Anyway, he felt bad about himself or something, and it's like, dude, don't even worry about it. It's not. These things don't matter. The whole point of the fucking scene is you do and say what you want. So it would be stupid to fucking worry about it. If anything, like somebody would say, "Oh, hey, you remind me of Suicide Commando." It's not like it's not a big deal. It's not nobody fucking cares. This isn't like the hardcore scene. This isn't like the hipster scene. Do and say what you want. If you want to get, that's just funny to me though. It's funny to me the same way that it's funny to me that my friend, my dear friend, like messed up the title of Bang Bang You're Dead, because that's what happens throughout the entire movie. Like it's funny the same way. Like it's not a huge deal. It's just some shit. But you have to laugh. It's you, like he comes to the show thinking that it's gonna be the same exact thing that no, Hosiko are way different than Suicide Commando. They probably played plenty of shows together, but they're two completely different. Like Johan Van Roy is completely different than Hosika. They're different people. So that's funny to me. I don't know. And the entire time when we saw Suicide Commando, oh my god. So they close out the set with Love Breeds Suicide. If you don't know Suicide Commando, you probably don't know that song. Um, it's a very heavy, very aggressive song. Excuse me, and I just had KFC, so excuse me for my burps and my. But yeah, that song is fucking rough. That is. You had 200 people in a tiny fucking club in Rhode Island stomping just fucking stomping it out. It was awesome. Everybody was fucking pissed. And I had just gone through a bad breakup at that time. And I Love Breeds Suicide. Yeah, that's the right track to end it off on. Come on, Johan. Like, that's just unfucking believable. And Amy is my friend Amy, who I met her because she was wearing a Ministry shirt at a KMFDM show, and we were both smoking outside, and I go, "Oh, nice shirt." She goes, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And like we started talking. I was wearing a KMFDM shirt, and then the next time I saw her, when I was at the Suicide Commando show, I was wearing a different KMFDM shirt, and so we started talking and stuff. she came up to me. I remember it was the greatest moment in my life. It was good, like, because people, you don't want to have to, you don't want to have to worry about people or like to feel like you need to be validated or something. But when somebody's your friend, you know they're your friend. She came up to me out of nowhere. I didn't even know she was going to be at the show. I didn't have a phone at the time. I still don't have a phone. And she came up to me and punched me on the shoulder like real hard. And I was like, "Oh, all right. How's it going?" I was like, "What's up, Amy?" And we got along. And her boyfriend was there. Yeah, I'm not a dog. I don't give a fuck. I just want everybody to get along. So, the three of us go in. We meet up with this kid Steve, and there's like a couple other characters there that I'm not gonna mention, but we ended up like forming this kind of group and this local group, and it's kind of cool. And so Suicide Commando's blaring. They're playing Love Breeds Suicide, and like she's shoving me against a fucking wall. The security's like looking at us sideways, like what is going on here? Because this is like a whole separate thing from like it's not like people nodding their heads like yeah I like this music, okay this is cool. No, like we're going fucking insane. She's shoving me against the wall. I'm shoving her back. I'm laughing my ass off. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Just leave me alone. I loved it. I loved every fucking second of it, and it was amazing. And that kid Steve is standing there. He has no idea what the fuck. What's like? This is a whole new scene to him. He doesn't get that people are getting their fucking aggression out. This isn't a metal concert. This is like some real shit. Like there's probably at least a few people in that building that have guns on them. I don't know. That was awesome. And then I forget if she was at Hocico, but he was there, and so that happened. And there were a couple people I recognized there that were because this isn't. Keep in mind, like I'm from Boston. I'm not from Providence, so this is a club that I'm going to, and I don't know any of the people in the scene. I only know who I've met through concerts. It was fun though. And then I remember, Jesus Christ, going into Boston to see My Life with the Throco Cult. There was another time I went in there to see Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, which they're not, they're removed from. They're not as deep as some of these other bands, but still fucking awesome. I saw them. I saw that they were gonna be on tour, so I was like, you know what? If they're coming to Boston, I'm gonna go see them. Why not? What the fuck? And both times, both that concert, the Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, and the My Life with Throco Cult concerts, I ended up having to drive through this town called Devens, which is, if you're from Massachusetts, you might know that town, but um, I'm not familiar with it at all. I mean, I am now, but I'm like I'm driving over curbs and keep in mind I'm like trashed before I even get in the car to drive there. I'm like driving over curbs. I'm hitting curbs and shit and speed bumps and all kinds of nonsense. This is hilarious. Driving through the tunnel in Boston. Yeah. Like, what the fuck, dude? Those were all good shows, though. They were fucking awesome. And when I went to see, I'm pretty positive I've told this story, but just in case, because we're already making this video. It's already 15 minutes in, so whatever. Um, when I went to see Revco, Frontline Assembly, and Cubanate in New York City, I was so excited. I went to get in my car, and my dad's like, because I had already talked about this, and he worries about me. He worries about me way too much. He's like, "Do you have any idea what you're doing?" And I go, "No, no, I don't. I'm just gonna drive to New York. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I get lost. I don't care if I die. I don't give a fuck. Frontline assembly of all things, like, yeah, this is happening." And I already paid for tickets too. So get in my car, I go to drive. It's like 5.5 hours from here to New York. So to New York City anyway. So I'm driving there. My brother calls me. He's like, "Oh yeah, how's it going?" You know, we had a conversation for a little while. That actually comforted me. It made me feel, better, because obviously I was a little nervous because I don't usually do road trips. I wish I would do more, but um, it's whatever. Like, I wanted to be there. I wanted to see this concert. So yeah, just do whatever you got to do. Most of the time, no, I don't want to fucking do it. I don't want to deal with it. Somebody else can drive me. I don't give a fuck. Um, so my brother called me. That made me feel comfortable, and then um, I ended up getting there, and I went to this parking garage, and anybody anybody from New York, or New York City rather, excuse me, um, would get this joke. I went to Icon Parking, and I thought it was like a parking garage. I thought it was like it turns out it's a chain. There's like 100 of them, 1,000 of them throughout New York City. So I go to park there, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm all set. All right, I'll remember where this is." It was right around the corner from the place, which is even more hilarious. Um, and when I come out of the show later, I'm going to look for my car, and I see, "Oh, Icon Parking. Okay, there's my car should be in there." I go in there, and the guy, and this, keep in mind, this is like late at night, so like the place is closed. You have to ring a doorbell and have them open the fucking gate to get in there. And because it's New York City, the guy's confused. He's like worried that I have a gun or something. You know what I mean? So I'm looking around, and I'm like, I don't see my car anywhere, and this place doesn't even look familiar. The layout of every place is obviously completely different. So, so I'm looking for my car. I'm like, I think I'm in the wrong place. And then I start going down this like weird fucking street where it's all black. There's no lights. Bunch of construction shit going on. The orange barrels and fences, and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna get stabbed. I don't even have a weapon on me. And I'm like, I'm walking around. The concert got over like, I don't know, midnight. This is like 4 a.m. I'm still walking around looking for my car. Finally, I find it after going to like 30 different places. I was about to like wave down a police officer and be like, "Hey, if I give you my license plate number, can you just like find my car? Because I have no idea where it is." It's fucking ridiculous. I don't fucking know. It was hilarious. There's this huge guy at the show. He he comes up to me and he starts talking to me, and he goes, "Yeah, they call me Bigfoot." He was huge. He was a massive dude. It was hilarious. Yeah, they call me Bigfoot. Oh, okay. Can I have you on my team? Can I, like, what the fuck? Dude was awesome though. He was slamming the floor. They played Revco played unfortunately no Al Jorgensen at that show. But Paul Barker was there and Chris Connolly. And if you don't know Chris Connolly, please check out Chris Connolly because he's the fucking man. So is Paul Barker. But um, yeah, they closed out the night because they were the headliners. They closed out the night with "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" and Revco's cover of it, and like just everybody was just fucking dancing, just having a good time. People are slamming back beers and shots. It's fucking awesome. And that guy was there, and he's just stomping the floor, and he's smiling and shit. And I was like, man, this is a good fucking crowd. I'll take the New York scene any day. It's fucking awesome. And there was one guy. I think I told this story, but I don't know if I told it on video. So, because remember, these are precious moments to me. These things matter. So there's like a little corral area where we go out to smoke cigarettes between sets, and me and this kid are out there. We're talking about Doc Martens and we're talking about combat boots. I'm like, yeah, I don't wear Doc Martens. Certain people wear them that I don't like to associate with. Um, I'll wear like vintage military, like standard issue military combat boots. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I like Doc Martens, but they don't make them anymore. And I guess they don't. I have no idea. I don't keep up with that shit. So then he goes inside, and this other kid comes out, and he's not at he doesn't have a ticket. He's not at the show. Um, and we're waiting for Frontline Assembly to come on. And I was getting a huge boner, a massive boner, waiting to see Bill Lieb on stage. We'll keep that between you and me, whoever the fuck even happens to watch this. And this guy comes up to me, and he's on the other side of the railing, and he grabs me by the neck. Like he just grabs me by the neck. He's like, "Do you have a cigarette?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." If anybody asks me for a cigarette, I'll give him a cigarette. I don't give a fuck. So I gave him a cigarette, and he starts talking about the I-95 corridor, and he's like, "Yeah, we're all brothers and sisters, man. The I-95 corridor. That's it." I was like, "Well, all right, yeah, I'm with you, dude. Okay." Like, the guy was clearly like either drunk or on drugs or something, or having a bad night, or I don't know. Because you seek brotherhood when like you're having a bad time. Usually, it, it was hilarious to me. He came out of nowhere. He grabbed me by the neck. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I gave him the benefit of the doubt, like instead of punching him in the face or something. I was just like, "All right, what story does this guy have to tell?" Because I've dealt with enough fucking drug addicts and weirdos in my life that. All right, let's see if he has a story. I don't know if he's gonna stab me or something. All right, I'm going into defense mode. But that was fucking awesome. He's like, "Dude, yeah, we stick together. We're brothers and sisters. We stick together. The I-95 corridor." That was cool. I loved it. And then of course, there was the drive home, and I stopped at a McDonald's, and this guy was like, I stopped at a rest area, and I even took a little like snooze in my car, just a little nap, just tiny like 25-minute, just kind of like close my eyes for a minute, put my head down, and I went into McDonald's and I went to get breakfast, and I was like, oh, I love McDonald's breakfast. It's gonna be so fucking awesome. And the guy's like, the guy's in there by himself. Like it's literally me and him, and he's like trying to replace the cups. He's trying to like stack cups under the counter, and he's so fucking frustrated. He's like, "Oh fuck this!" Like, I just got like can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese on a biscuit? Or like whatever I haven't got McDonald's in a while. She's like, yeah, just give me a minute. All right, I'm not in any hurry. I got a long drive ahead of me. I'm taking my time. So I get my food and I eat it, and then I take a little snoozer in my car, and then I'm driving back, and like by the time I reach my exit to get home, like the exit is literally like right up there, like it's right up the street. We live next to the highway. Um, I was like falling asleep. I was listening to Sheryl Crow for whatever reason. Like, this is home. And I'm, I'm like falling asleep. And then ironically I get home and I have like pamphlets and pamphlets. What happens is when you go to New York City, if you go to a concert, they're gonna give you a shitload of flyers and stickers and like all these fucking things. So I had like a whole fucking, I could have filled a folder with it, all this shit. And I walk in and I'm showing my parents because they're at this time the show ended at like midnight, but by this point it's like 6 a.m., 6:30, 7 maybe, I forget. So they're awake, so they're up and about. They're making their breakfast and well, I'm so tired getting off the highway. I end up, walking in the door, changing my clothes, and then spending like an hour and a half talking to them about the fucking experience of going to that show. Like, the whole ordeal is just fucking hilarious. I love talking about concerts because people think like sex is the pinnacle of life. I don't know, man. I'm no incel. I've had sex. I don't know. I think concerts are the pinnacle. Like, sex is like, you're fucking, then you're done. Like, nah. I remember listening to Coil's Ether um, after I had like real, long drawn out sex for the, like beyond blowjobs and just licking pussies and shit. Like actually having like long drawn out sex for 2.5 hours, listening to Coil's Ether and smoking a cigarette in bed, and just being like, really, this is what everybody aspires to, like. I don't know. I just didn't even care for it. You go to a concert though. You take me to a concert. There was one concert. I went to Nights of Ebb. I saw Nights of Ebb in Boston, and I got an Uber there and back, and it was the same woman. Somehow, I don't know how that shit works, but it was the same woman both ways. I paid like $35 for this dope ass Nights of Ebb tour T-shirt. Um, and then I left it in the car by accident, so I tried to call her back after she dropped me off, and she was like, she was incoherent. Like, I don't know if she was pretending to be dumb or something, or like, oh, I can sell this on eBay. I have no idea, but I didn't get the shirt back. I love concerts. You know what I hate though? I hate COVID. Fucking ruined everything. And Miss came at the end this year. Fuck you, Fauci. Fuck you, Biden. Fuck you, Harris.